Clean up your act. That was President Obama's message to credit card issuers today.
The days of any time, any reason rate hikes and late fee traps have to end.
As the recession has deepened, banks have been jacking up rates. A fifth of all borrowers carrying credit card debt now pay more than 20% interest. And the industry collects more than $15 billion a year in penalty fees, a tenth of its revenue. At a White House summit with executives from more than a dozen major credit card lenders, the president said he backs new legislation to protect consumers.
No more fine print, no more confusing terms and conditions. We want clarity and transparency from here on out.
So does Esther Williams Yarborough.
I've never been late, and I always pay more than is required.
But the Washington, D.C. shop owner who counts on credit cards to run her store just had her interest rate raised from less than 9% to well over 10%, even for her existing balance.
I couldn't believe that they could get away with that. That is not what I bargained for. It is not what I signed on for.
But historian Charles Geist, who writes about consumer debt in his forthcoming book, Collateral Damaged, says there's nothing stopping the credit card companies.
The banks have all the freedom in the world. I mean, this is basically an unregulated part of the market until very recently. So the banks can charge whatever they wish. They're just trying to claw back some of their losses.
A record number of credit card loans are now being written off as uncollectible, more than 8%. But hiking rates and fees, some say, will only make the problem worse.
By raising interest rates, it increases monthly payments, and it pushes people over the edge, and it leads to a downward spiral that this economy cannot possibly tolerate anymore.
The Fed has passed new consumer protection rules, but they don't go into effect until next year. That's another reason banks have been in a hurry to raise rates now. Katie?
Meanwhile, Anthony, I know that President Obama says there are 4 major reforms he wants to see in this legislation. What are they?
He wants the legislation to include protection against abrupt rate increases. Also, he wants the terms you get on those statements to be in plain English, that everyone can understand. Finally, he wants the banks to provide information that would make basically all of us be allowed to do comparison shopping. In other words, information right out front we can all understand. And finally, I got ahead of myself here. Finally, better enforcement for all of this.
All right. That's 4. Anthony Mason. Anthony, thanks so much.